Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Rosanna?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So today we will do
1 minute, 1 minute. I'll
Okay.
get you back into the. Yeah. Now we are going to go, and then here you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Start
So
from 17 again. Kutilal insanumala.
okay. All right. So okay. So today our reflection will cover from ayah number 17 up to ayah number 23, and it is about the refutation against whoever denies life after death. Allah rebukes those who deny the resurrection and the final gathering. Qutila, mankind. May man be cursed. This refers to the rejecting type of man due to his abundant denial without supporting argument. Rather, he denies simply because he thinks it's far-fetched and because he lacks knowledge of it. So it's about the people who do not believe in the life after death, and they think, oh my God, this is, something so, like they can't even imagine this is going to happen. So Allah Ta'ala is rebuking them from doing this, and how ungrateful he is. This means none is worse in disbelief than he is. So this is also like kufr if we deny the day of judgment. So then Allah explains how he created him from something despised and that he is able to bring him back to life, just as he created him and then set him initially. So, like look at the arrogance of man. From what he's created from nutfa, which is such a napak, like impure thing, and then even when he's dead, he will be brought back to life, and he is so ignorant about this knowledge. So from in ayah number 18, for what thing did he create him? In ayah number 19, from a nutfa, he created him and then set him in due proportion, meaning he decreed his lifespan, his sustenance, his deeds, and whether he would be miserable or happy. So all this is not even in our control. We cannot think if we work hard, we will be rewarded, or if we don't do anything, we will not get anything. It is all already proportioned. Even before we were born, it was decided what we are going to achieve, what we are going to get, and it is all with the help of Allah. It has got nothing to do with our efforts. We are supposed to make effort, of course, but the result is in the hands of Allah. Then in ayah number 20, then he made the path easy for him. Then he made his coming out of his mother's belly easy for him. Verily, we guided him on the path. He is either grateful or ungrateful, meaning we explained it to him, clarified it, and made it easy for him to act upon concerning Allah's statement. So even at the time of birth, we come out of a small tunnel, and Allah makes it easy for us to do that. And ayah number 21, then he causes him to die and puts him in his grave. So then, we live our life according to the time span that is given to us by the decree of Allah, and then we die, and then we go into our graves. And then in ayah number 22, then when it is his will, he will resurrect him, meaning he resurrects him after his death. And this is called al-ba'ath, resurrection, and nushur, resuscitation. All of the sons of Adam, man will decay except for the bones of coccyx, tailbone. From it, man was created, and by it, he will be reconstructed, concerning Allah's statement. So in ayah number 23, nay, but has not done what he commanded him. Allah is saying, nay, the matter is not as this believing man says. He claims that he has fulfilled Allah's right upon him regarding himself and his wealth. Allah is saying that man has not fulfilled for his Lord the obligations that were imposed upon him. So this is a very firm reminder for all of us, because we think we are doing the right things and we are obeying Allah, but honestly speaking, we are not. We are very much out of control sort of people, and then we are going to suffer consequences of this. And Allah is telling this will happen.
Jazakallah khairan. I think it's a very important thing that Allah reminds us that He has created for a purpose, and then you cannot claim that you have fulfilled it until you are really made an effort to fulfill it. And that's what He is
Yes.
reminding us
Yes.
about.
Yes.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. I think, Sakiba, you want to say anything?
Yes.
These six
Yes,
are
please.
17, 18, 19,
Now,
20, and 23. 7
yeah.
ayahs.
Now, basically, today, what I would like to, did anyone find the time to go through verse 259 Surah Baqarah?
You can read it for us if you want.
Because according to my findings, in this surah, the argument which has been taken that this incident took place between Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Abdullah ibn Umm Maktoum is not correct. Whereas my finding is that this is basically Surah Abasa is referring to an incident which has been mentioned in 259. Surah Baqarah 259 verse. Now let me just read that for you.
No, I can bring it up.
Yeah, please. 259. Surah Baqarah 259.
Here we are. Here is the surah.
No,
So, ayah.
Dr. Maruf, not yet. Not yet. We are still on Abasa.
Sister Farzana,
Yes, bhai.
did you have the opportunity to go through this verse?
Yes. Yes.
Can you see
259?
it now or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yeah.
Okay, I will bring it up.
Okay.
Okay. This
Here you
Sister
are.
Salima.
Can you see?
Yes, yes. Now we can see this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Further down, please. Further down, please.
Further down.
Yes, please.
It's a long surah.
Aukallazi. No. Sorry. Further up. Up.
Aukallazi, yeah.
That's it. Yes. Aukallazi. Now, Sister Salima, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you go through this verse 259?
I did go through it also, yeah.
Okay. So did you find any relevance between these two, this surah and this verse?
Abasa, no.
No. Sister Farzana, you?
No.
Okay. Now let me just read it for you. Then you will see how does it relate to the verses right from the beginning, even just now what we have read. Yeah. Now, aukallazi marra ala qaryatin wa hiya hawiya ala urushiha. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is discussing a story where a person has gone into a valley, into a residential area, where he has seen that all houses have been turned upside down. The walls have fallen, the roofs have come onto the fallen walls, and people are dead. Now he has seen that that picture. So you just visualize that you have come, like if you go to a place which was a residential place, people were living there, but you happen to see them that all the walls of their houses have fell apart, and the roofs have come on those broken and fallen walls, and people have been killed under this. Right? Now, he suddenly, having come across this tragedy, what is he saying? Kala, Allah yuhyi hazihi Allah ba'da mawtiha. How is this possible that these people who have died here in this catastrophe, they are going to be raised after their death? Now that is the surprise. I mean, having seen all that, this is what he has exclaimed. This is what his spontaneous reaction, intellectual reaction is. How come that such a ruin and such deaths are going to be resurrected? Now the next, fa'amatahullah mi'atin amin. Now Allah caused him death for 100 years. Right? So he was like a Ashab Kahf, but in this case, this person who is raising his eyebrows, who is being exclaimed, who is Abasa, right? Wow, how come they will be raised from death? So Allah caused him death for 100 years. Summa ba'asahu. Then he was resurrected. So he was raised into life after 100 years. Kala, now this is Allah talking to that guy. Kam labista. Initially, this was his intellectual response. Now Allah is asking him, how much, what do you think you have been raised after how long? Come. Kala, come. Then his reply is Kala, that person is replying. So this is a dialogue between Allah and that guy who was caused to die for 100 years. Kala labistu yawman aw ba'da yawm. This is exactly what was the answer of Ashab Kahf as well. So then he said, maybe they are part of the day. Kala, now Allah is saying, bal labista mi'ata amin. You have been dead for years, 100 years. Now this is something which needs evidence. Now here is the evidence. Fanzur ila ta'amika. Now he has been invited to see to his food. Washarabeka, and his drink. Lam yatasannahu, there was no aging on them. They were unchanged. Wanzur ila hamarik, then he was asked to look at his donkey. وَلَنَجْعَلَكَ آيَاتٌ لِلنَّاسِ, so that Allah can show his signs. This is cognitive, the physical sign, tangible sign. It is not something intangible, tangible sign. What was this tangible sign for the people? Wanzur ila izam, see to your bones. Now see to the bones of this hamar, this donkey. Kaifa nunshizuha, how are we going to put flesh on that? Thamma, how are we going to resurrect it? How we are going to resurrect its structure? Then summa naqsuha lahman, then see how we put on flesh on him. Why? Falamma tabayyana lahu, so that this becomes obvious. This is cognitive. This is nothing hidden. This is not yuminuna bil ghaib. This is right shahada in front of him. So falamma yatabayyana lahu, take, so that this becomes cognitive, obvious. Seeing is believing. Now, when this has happened, then he is saying qala. Then he acknowledges what? A'lam. Now I know. Where he raised his eyebrows, where he was exclaimed, where he was abasa. How come? Anna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. Verily, Allah can do anything. Allah is all powerful. It is nothing beyond Allah to raise the dead. So what he was exclaimed, surprised, wondered, flabbergasted, unclear, having seen the process, it became clear to him. Now this is very interesting that you will find. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues, wa iz qala rabbi arini. Now it is not that person. Now Hazrat Ibrahim is joining. In. Now mind you, Hazrat is the most intellectual prophets of all. He always raised, all his life, he has been dealing with reasoning. So he says, wa iz qala Ibrahim. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ibrahim said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi arini kaifa nuhyil maut. How do you raise the dead? Now, here there is no exclamation. Here is an inquiring mind. It is not out of disbelief or out of doubt. It is out of curiosity, a humble curiosity, a humble quest to know, a humble inquiry. Qala awalam nomin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, my friend Ibrahim, don't you believe? Kala bala. God, I do believe. It's not that I don't believe. Walakin liyatma'inna qalbi. But I wanted satisfaction to my heart. Remember, Allah bi zikrillahi latatma'innal qulub. The different faculties, more than 12 faculties, which Allah has referred within us. The highest level is itminane qalb, that you really get serenity, peace, tranquility, and you find all your questions answered, all your riddles solved, all your disturbing concerns, upsetting issues settled. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking, Qala, after this dialogue, Allah says, Qala fakhuz arba'atan min at-tayr. So please take 4 of those birds which fasarhunna ilayk, that you have tamed them. So then you know them, they know you. So there is a relationship. So they are your pets. And then summa ja'al ala kulli jabalin minhunna jaz'an. And then slaughter them, turn them into pieces, juz'an, and place those pieces, mix them up and place those pieces on different tops of the different mountains. And then summadu hunna bi ayatika, then ask them to come flying to you. Yatinaka sa'ya, so they will fly, they will come flying to you. Annallah azizun hakim. That is why this has happened, because your Allah, your God, is all dominating, is all wise. Now this is the context within which Surah Abasa has come. Now let me give you now another very interesting surah, and this is basically how you understand Quran. Please go to Surah Yusuf, verse number 7. If I
What
may.
number is the surah?
Surah Yusuf, verse 7.
What's the number of surah?
12.
Okay.
Surah number 12. And it is in
number
12
7.
para. Yes, and it is in 12 para.
Ayah number what?
7.
7.
Number 7. Yes. لقد كان في يوسف وإخوته آيات للسائلين. This is the basis of asking questions. When any ayah, any historical reference has come, Allah asks you to raise questions before you accept the details. Lissailin. Don't accept historical events as being told. Question them. This is a critical thinking with which you must understand Quran, because you have more than 12 faculties within you that must be satisfied when you read Quran. That is, your aql must see it, find it logical. Your tafakkur, analysis, must be satisfied. It must be analytical. Then tazakkur, it must serve as a reminder for you. There is a zikra element within you that connects, because you have not come with a clean slate from Allah. Allah has already put something in you, and zikr connects with that. Allah bi zikrillah la tatma'innal qulub. This is a cognitive. Quran does not tell us stories which doesn't have a base. Quran tells us stories which have a connection in the history. So it connects. Then you have tadabbur. Tadabbur is
Reflection.
to contemplate,
To ponder, to ponder.
to ponder, to contemplate, to go deep, to cut through all the layers, all the layers. Then you have got fawad. Then you have qalb. Then you, within qalb, then you have got qalb-e mutmainna. So on and so forth. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking you that do not take the story without satisfying all your faculties. Now let's come and let's analyze, going by this principle, let's analyze the story of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as frowning and Abdullah ibn Maktoum being blind person. Now this story, let's see what are the questions being raised. Now mind you, please, that whenever you read Quran, it is very important that ma anzalallahu alayhi, whatever Allah has revealed, you first of all digest that as it is. Don't add anything to it other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like for example, here are two words, abasa wa tawalla. He frowned and turned away. Now nobody knows who is he, and nobody knows what was he that he turned away, and who was he that he turned away. Quran is not clear. So there are questions. This is not a sentence in a conventional Arabic way. Dr. Maroof knows that how the Arabic sentence is constructed. This has no object, it has no subject. It has just two words, two verbs. So this is an unusual style of opening a surah, stating the fact using a verb without specifying the subject of that verb. It is not a complete sentence, and this is not a proper Arabic. This is Quranic Arabic. Even Arabs were not aware of this Arabic. So you cannot follow Arabs to understand Quran. You have to follow Quran to understand Quran. Then anja'ahu al-ama. It is not ama, it is al-ama. So when it is proper noun, it's not a common noun. When it's a proper noun, that indicates that the reader should know about who was that man or that type of man. What was the type of that man? Anja'ahul ama. There are three words here without mentioning. Now, then it is not the story of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Abdullah ibn Maktoum is all saying that he asked Muhammad Rasulullah. Where is the word asked here? There is no word asked here. There is no sa'alahu or there is no qatahu that he interrupted or he asked the question. This is something which is coming outside Quran. This is not within the Quran. Quran is anjahul ama. Now, let me just take you to Surah Hajj and Surah Furqan. Surah Hajj is
Surah
2246.
What is the surah?
2246, Surah Hajj.
Al-Hajj.
Hajj.
Yeah.
Ayah number?
42.
46. Please. Now I will turn to the last part of it, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you can read the whole ayah yourself, but I will just concentrate on the last part. فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَلْ أَبْصَارِ. It is not the physical eyes that go blind. It is not. What goes blind? وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَلْ قُلُوبِ بِالَّتِي فِي صُدُورِ. It is the eyes of the heart that go blind. See? Now in this 259, when this person saw the ruins of that valley with deaths all over, his heart went blind. He was seeing with his eyes, but his heart was blind. So he said, how come Allah can raise them dead? How come? That is abasa. That is watawalla. He said, no, this is not possible. This is not going to happen. Because he was ama from the heart. Now the similar concept is in Surah Furqan 2573. I will not go there. You can go there and see yourself. So this concept has been repeated throughout Quran, that there are two fundamental levels. One level is where you are an animal and you see with your eyes. Seeing is believing. And the other is a wise wisdom level where you deduce and induce, you deduct and induct, you drive conclusions based on the signs you see around. Like, for example, if you see smoke, you don't insist to see fire, to say to conclude that there is a fire, because smoke cannot come out of the fire. But if your eyes are blind, your eyes of your heart are blind, you will stay on the appearance, and you will never go to the meaning and the purpose. And the person who do not go to the meaning and the purpose, he is blind at heart. This is the most tragic, what do you call,
dilemma.
Approach, dilemma. This is the most tragic dilemma of the modern age, that their eyes, their ears, their senses, their induction, their deduction, their intellect, their analysis, their contemplation is very good when it comes to the physical phenomena. But all this logic, all this order, all this purpose, all this harmony, all this oneness, all this unity, that does not take them to the one God. This is where they go blind. This is where they stay at animal level. So they are intelligent animals. And you will come across in the same surah about where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will refer. So this is the story of one person, and this is the story of each one of us as a human, that we have two levels. One is the intelligent animal level, which only deals with the physicality, and other is the wise human being who looks beyond physicality and finds meaning, purpose, order, harmony, unity, holisticness, and comprehensive, total picture, bigger picture. He puts it together. He is not stuck in the pieces of the puzzles. Once he puts the puzzle together, then he looks beyond. What is this scenery? What is the meaning of this scenery? What is the purpose of this scenery? So we, as an animal, you remain at a level where you keep trying to put together pieces of the puzzle. But as a non-holistic person, as a person who doesn't know harmony, you remain blind. So this is what Al-Ama is here in Surah Abasa. So that guy who was there for, who stumbled upon this, and he's point blank rejected that they will ever be raised to life, was blind from his heart. He couldn't see that. Now, Quran is abundantly clear that if you do not believe in hereafter, you will never be able to see through your eyes of the heart. You will never be able to think from your heart. You will never be able to listen from your heart. The second level, which is a level of a holistic man, which is a level of a wise person, which is a level of Ibrahim, which is a level of muttaqeen, who follow our discipline and who can reach to the logical conclusions. They don't leave it in between. They are not people of whims, desires, but they are a people of wisdom. They do not stop in between just because if they cross that boundary, they have to compromise their own amaniya, their own worldly life, their own worldly pleasures, their own worldly satisfaction, their own egoism, their own being, considering themselves a big shot, that everything comes falling apart once you humble yourself and you accept that you are going to be answerable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's go to Surah Zumar 39:45.
Okay. 39. Surah 39.
39:45.
45 ayah.
Surah Zumar.
Okay. Ayah
Have you
45.
45? Yes, please.
This is Ayah 45.
Yeah, why are you calling?
Now listen.
Hello?
Now, وَإِذَا ذُكِّرَ اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ. Right? وَحْدَهُ. So what happens to them? What happens then? أَشْمَعَ مَعَزَّتْ قُلُوبُ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ. Dr. Maroof, can you read it, please? I wanted you to read this, please. The
وَإِذَا
translation.
ذُكِّرَ اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ
This portion.
أشمعزت
Ashma. Yes.
قلوب الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة.
Yeah. Yes. Please read this. The translation.
وإذا ذكر الذين من دونه.
No. Leave. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Stay there, please.
Yeah.
Don't move it, please. Can you come back? Yeah. Read this, please. The translation.
And when Allah is mentioned, okay, alone.
Yes.
Allah is mentioned alone.
That is important, most important. Wahdahu. Yeah. What is next?
But don't take too long.
أشمعزت قلوب الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة.
Yeah.
When they mention Allah alone, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
لا يؤمنون بالآخرة.
Ashma az qulubul lazina. What happened with the heart? What happens with the heart?
It shrinks.
They feel within their heart. What do they feel?
Alhamdulillah.
Who is that?
Okay. One month supply. No, I just got a week's supply. I didn't know you had for months. I thought you had. Yeah. You just on Monday.
Okay, go on.
So they feel within their hearts what? Unease. Why? Because they don't believe in the hereafter. La yu'minuna bil akhirah. So your heart will only be at comfort once you believe in the hereafter. If you don't believe in the hereafter, because accountability before one God only, no intercession, don't confuse things, merit-based things. Allah will account you for. So if you do not accept that concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your heart will never be opened. it will always be closed. So you can never be a person of holiness, holistic person, if you do not believe in accountability before one God. This is Surah Zumar. Now, let me take you these verses which we have just, and let me relate these ayahs to these verses. Is there any question so far?
What is the relationship of all these
To Abasa.
Yes, this is what exactly, that this 250 starts with this, that he was flabbergasted. He was, how come that Allah will raise the dead? How come? Now you know,
Yeah.
this is exactly what Abasa is.
Yeah.
This is exactly what Allah, that he turned back, that Allah can never raise them from the dead. So he turned away. Now I don't accept it, that Allah will raise them, raise these dead. It is not possible. Allah can do it. God can do it. This is exactly what Abasa was saying. Now mind you,
Hello.
please.
Okay. Walaikum salam. How are you?
Is it okay to continue, Dr. Maruf? Are you still on the phone?
Continue. You continue. I'll finish the phone and I'll join you. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, Qotel al-Insan. This is that person who was made dead. That person who was made dead. Once he exclaimed and he raised a question and he disbelieved it. Qotel al-Insan. Ma akfara. What caused him to be a rejecter? Min ayyi shayin khalaqa. Quran always present this, that before concluding this, he should have thought, how was he raised for the first time? That is a logical question to ask. So, if anything, he has been created not only physically, he has been created physically, he has been created morally, he has been created intellectually, he has been created spiritually. So it's not just physical. There is intellect is intangible, morality is intangible, spirituality is intangible. What made him to conclude that he is just a physical body? If God can create holistic personality, which is both visible and invisible, then why is denying of the invisible things? Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, min nutfatin khalaqa. He has been created from a zygote. That is from a father and mother. And then Allah, faqaddarahu. It was not their father and the mother who was designing that what face he is going to have and what features he is going to have, what personality he is going to have, what intellect he is going to have, what emotions he will possess, what spirit he will carry on, what morality he will, these 12 faculties, what tafakkur, what tadabbur, what tazakkur, what ta'akkul, who has done that? That is faqaddara. That is the logical thought process. He should have thought about it as well. Who has done that? Summa sabila yassara. And then he is his cognition to the correct path. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him not only seeing is believing, but also insight, basira, that has made his life easy. And then everything around him was very harmonized, conducive. The environment, whole environment was made that. Summa amata. Now here he was, this is what happened then. Then he was caused death. Fa'akbara, 100 years. Summa iza sha'anshara. Then he was raised after 100 years. Kalla lamma yaqzi ma amra. Now, this person who was raising this question with doubt, without giving enough thinking, without using all his faculties Allah has given him holistically, right, and labeled, did not carry out what was the command of Allah, what are the tools Allah has given him within him. فَلْيَنْظُرُ الْإِنسَانُ عَلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ. Now you see, if you see in Surah 250, what was he asked to do? He was asked to see to his food. Here Allah again is asking, why don't you see to your food? Where is this coming from? This prevening. Why is this giving you nourishment? How did you get it? Why this everything is so harmonized, so conducive? Now, this is very interesting to carry on anna sababna al-ma'a sabba summa shaqaqna al-arda shaqqa. That we will cover in the next, inshallah. So this is all you will see. If you see from previous, all the surahs we have covered, they were covering the hereafter, all the topics relating to the hereafter. If you bring the story of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the story of Abdullah ibn Maktoum, Maktoum, what is this to do with Akhirah? This is completely in the context of this surah. Surah before this, surah after this is all about Akhirah. And the most critical question about Akhirah is, how are we going to being raised after death? And Quran has mentioned this fundamental question not once, many times. In Surah Jasiyah, just go, and you have seen in Surah Baqarah, both Hazrat Ibrahim is asking and this guy is asking, who has been caused to die for 100 years. That, and this question is answered in Surah Abasa. So this is the contextual. And then again, if you go into the linguistics, I have given you questions about 2 verses. There are questions about 85 questions. If you borrow this story of Muhammad and Abdullah bin Ibn Maktoum, 85 questions you have to answer. And you know, this is because of this interpretation which Allah has not sent it. You have borrowed it from the history of tafsir, satanic verses. Salman Rushdie wrote that. He picked it up from this. These stories which you have made up, which do not corroborate with Quran, and you have blamed your prophet. So they have taken it to the next horizon. And this is again, satanic verses is based on tafsir, where it has been said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got a compromising ayah where Lat, Uzza and Manat were accepted as God. And then Jibril came rushing. No. This ayah has to be deleted. And the other verse was revealed. This is the whole story in the tafasir, which does not go with Quran. And this is Quran's claim that you will not find any contradiction in the contents of the Quran. But all this story, which is made up and which is part of tafasir, Imam Tibri, rahmatullah alayh, noted it, and it has been trickling down today without doing enough thinking and searching. What is Quran really referring to here? So Quran in the context is discussing, all the surahs are dealing with akhirah, and this surah is the prime surah which is discussing a very important topic, how the dead will be raised. And these are the two verses from Surah Baqarah, one of this person who is dead for 100 years, and then the question raised by Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. We will continue with this, and we will revisit Abasa wa Tawalla, Anja Ulama, in the light of
Shakib Bhai,
yeah.
You put your research into a paper, write it and send it to us. We will all read and try to understand. Because we have taken 2.5 hours. I don't think we should ever go beyond 1 hour. Otherwise, nobody will follow. That's why we are having 3 or 4 people. Now, let's.
That's why only I took the liberty only today because we had a time. Otherwise, I could have.
No, we don't have time now. We have gone to 2.5 hours now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's do a dua now, and then we continue with your. You do your research related to whatever related to Surah Al-Abasa. Put it across.
Yeah.
And the other day we listened to Noman Ali Khan, and and we need to limit our timing in terms of, otherwise we will be
that's fine.
going beyond discussion that will not be able to focus. It's very important.
Yeah.
Right.
Certainly.
Thanks for all the effort that you have done. We will continue with the next lesson, but yours, I prefer you to write it and send it to us, so we'll distribute along to everybody, and they can read it, pre-read it and come, then you tell the summary of it. That will be great.
Honestly, I wanted to do the head start because this is so much overcrowded, so much overwhelmed. We are so much overwhelmed with this story that we have really ridiculed Prophet, and people have taken advantage, like Salman Rushdie, like Danish cartoons, like Holland. We don't know what our Mufassirin has done with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam without any authentication.
Okay, all the best to you then. I think we need to stop here. Farzana, can you read the dua, please?
Yes, definitely. Okay. All right.
Karnin, I'll call you back in about.
Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Oh Allah, we are here right in front of you. We are ready to sacrifice every hawa, lustful desires in us, and we beg you to bless us with the knowledge of Wahi, Quran, guidance. Oh Allah, bestow your rahmah upon us and guide us to and through to those things, acts, paths which please you. Ya Allah, most certainly we have wronged ourselves, so forgive us, for most certainly you are forgiving, loving, and the one who always cares. Ya Rab, all praises and thanks belongs to you, your might, and all glory and greatness in your ownership. There is none worthy of worship except you.
Farzana, you're not facing the camera. And
Okay.
please face the camera. And the other thing is, my sister had fallen and she needs a major operation to the hip. And pray for her, all of us.
Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
And of course, Shazad, Hira's brother. Yeah.
Yes,
The
and
mom.
yes, and also the father of my daughter-in-law, he's diagnosed with Hodgkinson.
We pray for all of them. Ask Allah to.
Lymphoma. So it's very shocking to our system. So, okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Oh Allah, we are here right in front of you. We are ready to sacrifice every hawa, lustful desires in us, and we beg you to bless us with the knowledge of wahi. Oh Allah, bestow your rahmah upon us and guide us to and through to those things, acts, paths which please you. Ya Allah, most certainly we have wronged ourselves, so forgive us. For most certainly you are forgiving, loving, and the one who always cares. Ya Rab, all praises and thanks belongs to your might, and all glory and greatness is in your ownership. There is none worthy of worship except you. You are the master of the throne, and everything is in your control alone. The one who knows the depths of the oceans can hold our small affairs. The one who controls the entire universe and is aware of whatever is in the seas and the soil is supremely capable of disposing of all our affairs. May that same hand hold us close together forever and unite us in du'as. May our dreams stay big and our worries stay small. May Allah fulfill our heartfelt wishes and bless us with love, health, wealth, success, and happiness always. May Allah put barakah in our days and sabr along our way and wisdom in what we say. May He shower His richest and countless blessings upon us every day. May Allah grant us a heart free from sadness, a mind free from worries, a life free from hatred, and a body free from illnesses. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And Ya Allah, we ask you to give health and freedom of illnesses to everybody, Dr. Maru's sister, Hina's brother, and my daughter-in-law's father. We are very, very concerned about this situation, and Allah recover them and give us peace so that we can continue with our lives. And Saqib Bhai, can I just take 2 minutes of yours, if you don't mind? Saqib Bhai, are you there?
Please go ahead.
Okay, Saqib Bhai, when you were reading all this, I was making notes, and in that all you have spoken is from Surah Abasa. You were only discussing ayah number 21 and 22, and Quran repeats itself again and again, and it says itself that it repeats it. So all these things about how it is going to happen, what is going to happen, has been said several times in different surahs about the Yawm al-Qiyamah and the hereafter. And for the Quran, we listen and we obey. We don't confuse our minds about what this may be, what that may be, because if we do this, we will never ever be able to absorb anything. And the other thing is that so this is how Quran is understood. And as far as Surah Abasa is concerned, you have your own explanation to it, but think about it like this. There must have been people around there when this thing happened. And this is being told from generation to generation to generation. Do you think from the day of Tibarri, nobody ever understood what is this happening and all that? So sometimes, we should be very, very careful when we are contradicting something which has been said again and again and again and again. So it is, like you have been very good, very useful in telling us everything about how we will be brought back to life, because we know the story of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. He asked Allah, how is this going to happen? And we know the birds were cut into four, and Allah said, just put them on different mountains, and when Allah will say, they will come together. So and in Surah Kahf, we know when those people woke up, they were dead for years and years, and they came back to life. So this we know this, at least at my age. This is drummed into my head, and this is not something that will ever occur into my mind. Is this possible? Is this right? Is this wrong? So,
No, my suggestion for I think Brother Saqib try to relate to that ayah 259, which is related to how the houses were overturned and life has gone. Will the life come back? And that is another reference, another context. But he tried to refer to that, but that's okay. But whatever he has said, he has quoted only Quran, so that's all right. Today we had a little time, so we could discuss further. But other than that, we will keep track of what we are reading one after the other, and then that will be better for us to continue in the way that we are doing at the moment. So Alhamdulillah, we need to understand the words and try to think over.
Because Saqib Bhai, I know lots of people who are seriously into Deen, and I discussed your point of view with them, and they were horrified. I'm very sorry to say that. Okay.
You see, that is why I think I will answer this question. I have already answered it, but this is going to be too long.
Yes.
What you have said, I have considered everything.
I think it's going to be.
You know that I did not speak the first two lectures because I was deeply into this and looking. I have not read anything but just this. And whatever I am saying based on what Allah subhanahu, I can say same thing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what I am saying it to you, because this is what I understood. So I am
Brother Saqib, there is no contradiction on this. At the moment, I think why I have recorded it on live on YouTube is we can go back individually, look at the YouTube what we have been discussing, and then you can summarize it for us, and that will be good. That's fine.
Yes. So all this lecture, today's lecture was only about ayah number 21 and 22 of Surah Abasa. It didn't go beyond or after that. So, yes.
No, I think listen to it, you will come to know that your understanding is not correct. You will come to know once you re-listen it. It's recorded, so you will see it is not.
Yeah, you can, Farzana, you can go through the recorded version on the YouTube, and we'll also go through it together, and then we will come back for the next Quran class. I do not want to crowd the Quran class other than outside the context of what we are reading. And if you do that, then we will spend a lot of time. Many people are not coming because of that. I think...
and also, Dr. Maruf, what you said is perfect. If we have to say anything longer, then put it in words and we can read it in our own time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then you can send it to us, your comment about it, and then we can read it and then we can discuss at a separate session. That will be very good. Anyway, thanks for the effort. I think there's a lot of effort that Saqib Bhai, we appreciate that he has put in to get all the ayahs that are related, and that's fine. His talking is how collaborative information has been purposed in the whole Quran. Allah knows best, but he specifically takes incidents and makes. And in Surah Al-Kahf also, when they asked how long did you sleep, they said Yawm aw the ba'da yawm, one day or 1.5 days. So the when death or sleep or that cannot be measured because Allah is when you are sleeping, you have Allah, and the time It seems to you how it is, because your life continues what he will going to do, and he has clearly stated what he's going to do.
And even when we
Okay.
will be raised from our graves on the day of Yawmul Qiyamah,
Surah
he
to
said,
remind
"Just
us.
let us sleep for a short while. We will not be able to tell how long we were sleeping. And when we are dead, even if we are alive for 100 years,
We wouldn't know how long we have been there.
Yes.
And true. There is a specific interesting part of time dimension in the Quran.
Okay, all right.
MashaAllah.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Jazakallah khair
And
for all the
inshallah,
efforts, all of you
next week.
having
Okay,
we
all
sat
right.
together for
Allah
nearly
Hafiz.
3 hours. I think we will close the session, then we'll meet next week, inshallah. Jazakallah khair and Saqib bhai. I'll call you later. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.